This is Stevie B, y'all. Back into the Matrix. Something, something's going on here, and I just want to get y'all thoughts on it. Brandon Marshall and Adrian Peterson to the Patriots. Is that doable? What's it mean? Hmm. What does it add? Does it change the dynamic in the locker room? Is Adrian Peterson a better fit than Blunt? Hmm. Questions to answer. I do think LeGarrette Blunt has more natural power than Adrian Peterson in that he's built to just not feel you fall off of him. He's built. He's built. He just to me. He's naturally just a beefy dude. He's a big dude for a running back. Adrian Peterson's a really muscular big dude for a running back, and I mean that from a lean kind of perspective. Not that he wasn't able to lay the wood in his days, but he's also got very long arms. A guy who's had fumbling issues. Um, I'd look more at Brandon Marshall than I would even Adrian Peterson. I don't know that Adrian Peterson can be the type of guy to maybe go from having the ball 5 times one game and then they ask you to carry it 20 another, but then you don't touch the ball for 2 games. I don't know if he can keep up. I don't know if first of all, I don't know if he's AP anymore. We don't know if he's AP anymore. But we do know, he's capable of being better than a lot of backs in the league. On any given play, at least. Not saying throughout a season, I mean on any given play. Averaged 1.6 some odd yards per carry last year. Injuries and other issues over the past couple of years have, kept him out of football. But I don't think that he fits. There's just something that doesn't click to me there. There's also got to be a respect factor. And Adrian Peterson has never been spoken of as a leader, a camaraderie guy, a guy who everybody's trying to. I don't know. I really don't know. All I can say is you see a team camaraderie thing with the Patriots, and I don't know that Adrian Peterson is can dial in enough to what we do without thinking about his purpose. Okay, without thinking about, I think there's an inkling of selfishness there still in Adrian Peterson. I think there's an inkling of that's who he is. Brandon Marshall has been very public about himself from the very beginning. He's been, his life has been in the public. And the one thing people always would be able to say is he's a good guy. He's a decent dude. The man's, good people. And we all know that. Regardless of whether or not he and Josh McDaniels, rubbed shoulders the wrong way when they were in Denver together. But I really think, or if Josh McDaniels was responsible for shipping him out of there or whatever the case may be, but I really think that I'd go with Brandon Marshall over AP. If we can get them both, oh well, fine. But I'd rather have LeGarrette Blunt back with an added Brandon Marshall than have AP lose out on LeGarrette Blunt and pretty much stay with the receiving core we have, minus a potential Bennett, and just waiting to see if Gronk gets injured, what they're gonna do. The fact is, I think that Gronk they'll find a way over the next few years to extend Gronk's seasons. Whether that's not playing him as much in the beginning of the season, finding an injury, whether it's only not putting him on as many plays a game, not spreading him out all the friggin' time. Gronk's a big boy, but let's be real, he gets injured out in space, falling, getting his legs beat up. Play the big boy from inside first, play Gronk like a big boy, and go find the next athletic, slot guy that can play in and out, big. I mean, Brandon Marshall, the dude's 6'3", 6'4", like 230. He can go through down the seams. Hell, you had Michael Floyd run that route. You had Hogan run that route. You had, who else did they have run that route during the playoffs? Can't remember at this particular moment, but Brandon Marshall just fits better. He adds depth to what you have in a big ass target for Brady. You know, what did Brady do the last time he had a big ass dedicated target? Because Ocho wasn't dedicated. Ocho can say he was dedicated, but I don't believe that crap people say that he just couldn't get the system. Okay? Ocho was not dedicated to this shit. He came up here and was like, whoa. He might have had a lot of respect for it, so he put in some work, but he was not, this wasn't it wasn't the spot for him. I'm sure if he could do it over again, he would, but he just was not down with it at that time. You know, he understood and respected it. He just, I don't believe he felt like he wanted to work that hard anymore, you know, and retool himself like that. I believe Brandon Marshall has already done that as a person and as an athlete, as a football player in the NFL. He's retooled his life. He's retooled his ability to refocus as a player and a person. He's shown that he's shown, you know, the ability to have to play for multiple teams and still goes out there and gives his best. Even if it's Bryce Petty behind throwing him the ball, or Ryan Fitzpatrick, or Jay Cutler, or any of the bums he's played with before. If he gets Brady, I believe that is the motivation to get the ball from him is another thing. Adrian Peterson is not getting the ball from Brady. We're giving him the ball to help us. You understand what I'm saying? So from a standpoint, if you come from the standpoint that technically we don't need either of them, but who needs us and who could we use, or basically who wants to use us to get their route? Well, they both need to get us to, basically both players are going to use us to get the Super Bowl route. So are looking to get a Super Bowl. So just throw that to the side for a second. Adrian Peterson, we turn around, we hand the ball off to him. His motivation to come do something for us. His motivation to take us somewhere. He's a running back. He takes us somewhere. You see what I'm saying? Marshall, the motivation to get the ball from that man is going to have him running the routes hard. It's going to have him blocking. It's going to have him knowing that if I do this 110 like I've done before at other places, I'm liable to have one of my greatest years ever. Or I'm liable to win a Super Bowl. And my greatness can make this team better. I want to sit back and wait for this team to need me. You know, I want to do my job, and I can see Brandon Marshall playing that role, you know. Not saying AP couldn't. I just don't see how we need a running back more than we need a top flight wide receiver. I just don't see it. LeGarrette Blount didn't have jack shit to do with that Super Bowl. LeGarrette Blount didn't have jack shit to do with anything but tough running against the teams that we needed that were weak against the power run, so we abused them. We also had teams that were weak against the quick guys, so we abused that. It's game planning. AP isn't somebody we're going to need every day. And if we can sign Blount for maybe less, I don't know, maybe Blount wants to go make money now. He's got a couple championships. Respectfully, maybe he'll move on, and I'll give him his blessing to do that. And if that was the case, then fine, we're taking both. AP said he'll take a discount. But if we have to choose, I'm taking Brandon Marshall for all the reasons I spoke of and many more. Many more. Many more. We can go find another power back. Where the hell did Antoine Smith come out of? The dude came out of the woodworks. Okay. Corey Dillon was the back end of his career and came over here and put out a good, solid couple of years. Came out 1,600 yards his first year. That was like the last of his burst that he had, because he turned into slow-mo Jones after that, you know. But ultimately, let's look at Brandon Marshall, bring him in here, and then if Blount does go get money, AP second. Talk to y'all later.